Salute.
Prego col caffè.
No, caffè.
Took the time to lay my heart on the line. Ooh, 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 ooh,
My name is Sharif. In Italy they call me Sheriff. Why am I talking to you from Slovenia? I work for a company called Backroads. Backroads has been my dream company to work for this summer, and now I'm here leading trips in Tuscany. I just found my favorite water in the whole world from the days of Dubai.
Active O2 mit dem extra Sauerstoff von Adel Holzner.
I'm heading to Ljubljana castle. It's quite a climb. I'm almost out of breath.
The worst of it all was the sight of a young budding maiden. By my humble opinion, still a
For
virgin.
more than 5 centuries, the Ljubljana castle, the crown above the city, has marked the panorama of the Slovenian capital. A powerful fortress, a city symbol, the most visited tourist attraction in Ljubljana, a green oasis above the city, a venue for diverse cultural experiences and unforgettable gatherings. Behind its walls, the castle offers so much more. This is Sharif, the enjoyer. Dragons in Slovenia are everywhere. In towns, on bridges. Dragon Bridge was built in 1901. One of the greatest attractions in the world and is visited by more and more tourists every year. If a beautiful woman passes by, the dragons wink. Superstitiously turn their heads and follow the beauty across the bridge with their gaze. The dragons on the bridge remind some married men with their wives, or even worse, their mother-in-law. It's easier to live with a dragon than with a woman. Here's the dragon bridge. If you're a very beautiful woman, the dragon will turn their eye and give you a wink. The dragon is also a symbol of the stability and balance of the human spirit. When the dragon awakens, however, the person's mental state falls into turmoil and chaos, from which arise the dark forces that dominate the person, can lead to the extreme limits of evil deeds. The dragons, they are supernatural creatures with enormous power. Dragons in the earliest periods of human history were mainly guardians of tombs and sacred places. They guarded the dead as well as protecting entrances to shrines. They were the guardians of the access to the underworld, where the treasures of Mother Earth were hidden. Dragon is a universal symbol of supernatural forces and eternal life. Here is a very interesting fact. Although the consequences of natural disasters were often attributed to dragons, sometimes the blame was placed on people, with their reckless actions destroyed the harmony of the natural environment. Nature automatically took action and retaliated when man forgot his true faith and worshipped pagan idols. As long as the natural and spiritual state is stable, the dragon is calm, but when the balance is disturbed, it becomes angry and acts just like me. This also applies to each individual person, who is supposed to have his or her own inner spiritual world under control. Discipline.
99% are not willing to do what it takes to make their dreams come true. The Marines have a saying, everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. And that's just real. At the center of bringing any dream into fruition is self-discipline. Something as simple as food and eating. It's not about your body as much as it is about your mind. It's getting command of your mind to be able to choose actions that are in your own best interest. Every day, we are choosing shit that's not in our own best interest. Self-discipline is the center of all material success. You cannot win the war against the world if you can't win the war against your own mind.
In the middle of the 15th century, there was a strong religious political association of important figures who oversaw stability in Europe. This association was called the Order of the Dragon. The symbol of the Order of the Dragon was a dragon with its tail wrapped around its own neck, indicating that it has itself under control, as it can strangle itself if it oversteps the limit and destroys balance. Among the most successful rulers in the Order of the Dragon was the Romanian military leader and prince with the official name Vlad III. As a member of the order, he added the name Dracul to his name, which is Romanian for snake or dragon. Today, we know him primarily as the infamous vampire Count Dracula. The establishment of the first settlement in the area of today's Ljubljana derives from the mythological past that dates back to the time of the Argonauts. A group of 50 men gathered around the heir apparent Jason. Under his leadership, they sailed in the vessel Argo from Greece towards the east coast of the Black Sea. The Argonauts set out on this long and dangerous journey with just one goal: to find the golden fleece and take it back to Greece. Jason had to undergo many difficult trials before he finally made his way to the fabulous gold, which was guarded by a giant snake. The king's daughter, Medea, who was in love with Jason, put the snake to sleep with a magic potion, and the Argonauts were able to remove the valuable trophy. On their way home, the Argonauts sailed to the Danube Delta. There they dismantled their vessel and carried it to the Adriatic Sea, where they continued their journey to Africa. In the 17th century, the myth of the Argonauts attracted the attention of Ljubljana humanists. The Argonauts posed their journey in a large swamp that was ruled by a terrible dragon. Jason killed the dragon, and the construction of the settlement began, from which the city of Ljubljana developed over the centuries. Baroque humanists were satisfied with this fictional story, as it placed the origins of Ljubljana in the mythical past.
I have heard there is a tree at the end of the world, with a fleece of gold hanging in its branches.
In search of the fabulous magic golden fleece, Jason and the Argonauts, caught in the clutches of the towering bronze giant Talos, battered by treacherous falling rocks, taming vulturous harpies, facing the dreaded seven-headed Hydra, battling the merciless army of skeletons. Jason and the Argonauts, the classic story of Jason, a man who challenged the god.
So to put it all together, we can say that Slovenia is the land of the dragon. Usually the dragons are giant snakes that have just one head, but there are also creatures with 3, 7, or even 100 heads. Dragons in Slovenia are associated with water because they live in lakes, swamps, and springs. They cause rain, hail, storms, and floods. Some dragons also live in the mountain hollows and cause earthquakes. In Slovenia, stories about dragons are most common in places where temples or cemeteries existed. This connection between dragons and sacred places is very well demonstrated by archaeological research. The Slovenian word for dragon is zmaj, which derives from the Proto-Slav name for a male snake. This is Sharif describing the dragons. The first Slovenian puppet show, Dead Man in a Red Coat, by the painter Milan Klemenčič. His performances put Slovenian puppetry on a par with European theater production. Okay, now I'm in a place called Metelkova Mesto. Metelkova Mesto is an autonomous cultural center that developed from a squat in a former army barracks and became one of the best known attractions of Ljubljana. It brings together a variety of different artistic practices and events.
Kvotiran je Metelkova 93 and free artists squad as place. In the first time they have not electricity and water. At 1995 they start to making clubs, painting, we have now, inside concerts, theater.
Here in Slovenia they have green figs, they have amazing cherries, and it's so cheap. If you're ever in Ljubljana, come and have figs, cherries. And here, my friends, are yellow plums. Let's see if plums from Slovenia taste good. So sweet. Trying the burek with cheese for the first time. Slovenian dish. So good. Like pastry filled with cheese, very fresh, a bit crusty on the outside, gooey and soft in the inside. The city, a venue for diverse cultural venue. Is Janis is Vetokriski. Mythologica. There's in Vernica, near Azdovescina. The inscription and coats of arms of the noblemen who were incarnated.
Once upon the time I was walking in the street. When I was walking in the street, I met a beautiful girl.
Believe again.
So this has been a brief video about the Ljubljana and the history of Slovenia. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Slovenia today. I'm Sharif, as always, the enjoyer, and I'm bringing you the best.